What could possibly be lingering above the heads of students, faculty, and staff at George Washington High School? Education Oversight Chair Senator Chris Barnett sharing a photo of what appears to be mold growing behind new ceiling tiles at the school on his social media. Guam DOE announcing GW High students are set to return to campus on a traditional schedule by the 23rd, amid the results of mold remediation remaining in limbo. Chris Rhodes, a certified industrial hygienist through the American Board of Hygiene with over 20 years of mold remediation under his belt, breaks down what we're looking at in the picture.
This is behind new ceiling tiles at GW. So can you kind of walk us through what we're looking at? It appears to be mold, but can your expert eye tell us what we're looking at?
From what I can see, I would definitely address that as mold. Okay, I don't know the entire backstory of it or where it is, but anything I would see like that, would be something I would want to sample. I would want to identify what's growing there, why, because certain types of mold will only grow when there's a constant source of water.
It's investigative sampling that Rhodes says is critical for determining potential health risks, as high concentrations of mold are worrisome. The industrial hygienist adding reactions when exposed to mold vary amongst each individual.
Mold is individual. People are going to have individual reactions to levels of mold based on allergies and stuff like that. What we worry about are very high concentrations of mold. We don't want to see high growths of visual mold. And it can be destructive if the concentrations are high. You know, people sneezing and runny noses, and it's distracting.
And as Rhodes says, mold needs a food and water source to help it thrive. We can only hope the water damage at schools post-Mawar has already been solved.
When we talk about mold, we worry about water and the food source. We never want standing water, and if there's we keep seeing the mold, we know we have a leak or somewhere in there that has to be addressed. So mold is systemic.
Though Rhodes says that investigative sampling must be done to identify the mold species, its life cycle, and if it has fruiting bodies finding new places to grow, he weighs in on whether or not GW students should be concerned about going back to school come next week.
If it's not on the actual drop-down ceiling tiles, then I would not consider it an immediate concern. A long-term concern is the fact that it's growing above there, but it can get into the air handling units and things like that. So it needs to be addressed at some point.
Now only time will tell when the mold will get cleaned up and if certain students will or won't react negatively to the growth.